Hi FYE, and welcome back to the Cube Chronicles. Today I wanted to talk about what to do when it seems like there's no hope coming. I know I've been looking at the news a lot, and it's just every day seems to be getting worse and no one knows when the end is in sight. And so that can be really troubling and can be really hard to deal with, especially when your world and your expectations have really shifted around. So I wanted to focus on how we can be pouring into community and pouring into the Lord at this time and how that looks in my life. So some of you may be at home, and that means that you're not with your normal church family or your normal peer group. And that can be really frustrating when you don't know who to turn to. So I wanted to point you guys to some resources that I found really helpful to stay connected with my faith and stay connected with my family in Christ. So a great resource that we've been using is Zoom, and I know you may be tired of using Zoom, but it is a way that you can connect to those spiritual communities you had back in Waco. My small group uses it every Thursday at 3 p.m. We hop on, we have our life group as normal, and it's a way to still feel like things are in a normal rotation when everything else seems to be kind of shifting away. And if you're missing your home church in Waco, most churches are really doing a lot of online programming because we can't meet. And so I would encourage you to just keep up to date with their Instagram accounts, keep up to date with their website. I know my church has a full update on what's going on with COVID-19 and what that means for the congregation and how you can be serving the community too. Another way that you can be fueling your faith during this time is to find things that refresh your soul. You guys have gone through a lot, so be sure that you're giving yourself grace. Whether that looks like going on a walk, meeting up with friends over FaceTime, learning how to bake something new, or whatever that looks like for you, be sure that you're using this time well, because there will never be a time like this again, hopefully, that we are all just in isolated periods at our home, a lot of times nothing to do. So I encourage you to steward that time well. And if you're having trouble connecting to God or getting into the Word or focusing on it, like we talked about with the study tips, have a time and a place. Whether it's first thing in the morning, maybe it's right after lunch for you. I don't know, whatever works best for you. But have a time set aside. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's an hour that you're just spending in the Word or in a devotional. But have a time set aside where you do that, and also have a place where you do that. I am a firm believer that you can see the Lord in all things. But it can also be nice to have a little quiet area where you know that that's a place where you can retreat to and meet the Lord. This could be a great time to learn more about the ways you're gifted too. So you can take a spiritual gifts inventory or the Enneagram, or ways that you can learn about your personality and how you can use those gifts to serve other people in this time. I was listening to a podcast today from Elevation Church, and they really got to what I've been struggling with, where everything seems to be in disarray. I don't know what's happening next, but centering our mind on the Lord's track record. So she focused on Psalm 77, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I will put it in the email, so if you want to check it out, you can look at that. But in verse 1 it says, "I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, my spirit faints." So in this first section, it's about a person who's crying out to God, knowing what they're supposed to do in these times, but is to no avail. Everything just seems to be in vain. Nothing is changing. And it goes on to really show how this weariness is weighing down on them. And I think that's where a lot of us are at right now, where we're crying out to God because that's what we know will bring us comfort, and nothing seems to be alleviating the pain and the anguish and the anxiety that's coming with this time. And then in the podcast, she pointed out that in verses 10 and 11, we see a shift in this author where it's about anguish and it's about anxiety and it's about doing the right thing and seeing no progress made. But then in verse 11, it says, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. Your way, O Lord, is holy. What God is great like our God? And so the rest of the chapter is pointing out God's track record and what he's done in the past, and pointing out that he hasn't failed us yet, and he never will. And so I wanted to bring you guys that encouragement. Know that we at Baylor and we in the School of Education are praying for y'all. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Email us, call us. We are around. So we want to be there as a resource for you. And we hope that this is a time of spiritual growth and intellectual growth, and a time where you can soak up family time and you can soak up those sweet times with people that matter most to you. All right, friends, that's all we got this week. We'll see you next time on the Cube Chronicles.